What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see, my face is a little annoyed. I've already filmed this video literally 6 fucking times. 4 times on my phone, twice on the camera. My phone is just acting like a piece of shit right now. Insignificant storage. Ew, shut up, bitch. Excuse me. Sorry. I want to do this new segment called Murder Mysteries. I don't know if I'm going to do it on a Monday or any type of other day. But, it is where I'm going to be talking to you guys about murder mysteries you may or you may not know about. He really mad at the game. If people survived, if people died, you know, blah, 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 you know, all that jazz. And my very first murder mystery is the Zodiac. I have 13 index cards on this shit. Imagine having to read all 13 fucking 6 times. It's annoying. Let's get started. Again, shall we? Cue intro. Alright. So the Zodiac is an unidentified American serial killer who operated in Northern California from the late 1960s to the early 1970s. So apparently, crazy shit happened a lot in the late 60s and the early 70s. Charles Manson, I believe Ted Bundy as well. A lot of shit happened. He originated the name Zodiac in a series of taunting letters and cards sent to the San Francisco Bay Area press. The letters included 4 cryptograms. One of them was actually solved by I want to say he's a history teacher or an English teacher. Him and his wife. There was 5 confirmed deaths, 2 injured, but he claimed to have killed 37 people. He murdered 5 known victims in Benicia Vallejo, Napa County, San Francisco, respectively between December 1968 and October 1969. He targeted young couples, with 2 of the men surviving the attempted murders. The San Francisco Police Department marked the case inactive in April of 2004. But it was reopened at some point prior to March 2007. I believe the remake of the Zodiac movie came out 2007, 2008, I'm not sure. It's a good movie though. The case also remains open in the city of Vallejo, as well as in Napa County and Solano County. The California Department of Justice has maintained an opened case file on the Zodiac murders since 1969. Where does do that? I don't know. Although the Zodiac claimed to have murdered 37 people in his letters to the newspapers, investigators agreed on only 7 confirmed victims, 2 of them who survived. And these victims are 17-year-old David Faraday and 16-year-old Betty Jensen, both shot and killed on December 20th, 1968, within city limits of Benicia Vallejo. 19-year-old Michael, I'm just call him Michael M., and 22-year-old Darlene Fernan, shot July 4th, 1969 in the parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo. While Michael survived, Darlene was pronounced dead, unfortunately. 20-year-old Brian Hartnell and 22-year-old Cecilia Shepard stabbed on September 27th, 1969 at Lake Berryessa in Napa County. Brian had survived 8 stab wounds to the back. Unfortunately, Cecilia was pronounced dead 2 days after the attack. Fuck you at, man? I'm just kidding. And his last known victim to be 29-year-old Paul Lee Stein, who was a cab driver, shot and killed on October 11th, 1969 in the Paradiso Heights neighborhood in San Francisco. You're gonna shoot a man when he's on his grind? Piece of shit. This first murder is called Lake Herman Road Murders. His first murders were Betty and David on December 20th, 1968. They were on their first date. What a damn shame. And planned on attending a Christmas concert at Hogan High School. which is a trip because that high school was 3 blocks away from Betty's house. They instead visited a friend before heading to a restaurant and then driving out to Lake Herman to a spot known as Lover's Lane. The available forensic data that another car pulled into the turnout just prior to 11 p.m. and parked beside them. The killer exited the car and walked toward them, possibly ordering the couple out of their car. Betty had appeared to get out of the car first, but David was halfway out of the car when the Zodiac shot him in the head and then shot Betty 5 times in the back. Her body was actually found 28 feet away from the car. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to film this shit 6 times. I'm mad. Fucking phone, piece of shit. The next murder is called Blue Rock Springs Murder. Just before midnight on July 4th, 1969, Darlene and Michael drove into the Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, 4 miles from where Betty and David were killed. While the couple sat in Darlene's car, a second car drove into the lot, parked next to them, but almost immediately drove away, returning about 10 minutes later. Just imagine you're there with your boo, and y'all is just like, you're giving me kissy eyes. Hey man, you better cut that shit out. Before I take you in the back and and then a car just comes out of nowhere behind y'all, parks, and then he really needs to calm down, and then leaves like 10 minutes later. Well, like leaves, and then 10 minutes later comes back. My ass would have bumped the fuck out. You got me fucked up. Well, when the killer returned about 10 minutes later, the killer exited the vehicle, approaching Darlene's car on the passenger side. So I believe Michael was on the passenger side and she was the driver. He was carrying a flashlight and shut the hell up, boy, and a 9mm Luger. The killer shined the flashlight on them before shooting at them. Firing 5 times, both were shot, but several bullets had passed Michael, hitting Darlene. The killer walked away from the car, but upon hearing Michael's moaning, he had returned and shot them again twice. Way to kick a guy when he's down. Just kidding, no pun intended. Darlene was pronounced dead at the hospital, but fucking Michael's a fighter. Michael survived despite being shot in the face, the neck, and the chest. Superman, man. Super Michael. Shut up, I'm mad at you. Michael was questioned by the police and while he was recovering, and he gave the police his description of the killer. Michael described his attacker to be a 26 to 30-year-old man, 1995. to be about 195 to 200 pounds, 5'8", white male with short, light brown, curly hair. See, I can't read. I'm mad. I'm hella mad. On July 5th, 1969. Okay, I got it right. I was like, what? At 12:40 a.m., a man placed a phone call to the Vallejo Police Department to report and claim responsibility for the attack. The caller also took credit for the murders of Betty and David 6 months earlier. Police then traced the call to a phone booth at a gas station located about 3/10 of a mile from where Darlene's house is. The next murder is called Lake Berryessa murder. On September 27th, 1969, Brian and Cecilia were picnicking at a lake called Lake Berryessa. A white male, about 5'11", weighing more than 170 pounds, with combed greasy brown hair, approached them wearing a black executioner's type hood with clip-on glasses, over the black eye holes, and bib-like device on his chest that had a white cross and a circle symbol on it. Bruh. He approached them with a gun, and the killer claimed to have escaped from jail with a two-worded name in the name, either in Colorado or Montana. Hannah? Montana? Bruh! He's the only one that takes shit like that serious. I wish he'd take school serious. The killer had brought pre-cut lengths of plastic clotheslines and told Cecilia to tie Brian. But before the killer tied Cecilia up, the killer tightened Brian's ties after discovering they were loose. So Cecilia didn't really tie his ties up because she wanted him to run. She said, "Run, Forrest, run!" Brian believed this event to be a weird robbery, but the man drew a knife and stabbed both of them repeatedly. Brian suffering 6 stab wounds and Cecilia 10 wounds. I don't know why it's the women he went like really hard on. The killer walked away and walked all the way to Brian's car and scraped the words Vallejo 12/20/68, 7/4/69, September 27th, 69, 6:30 by knife. Well, sir, at 7:40 p.m., the killer called the Napa County Sheriff's Office from a payphone and he wished to report a crime. No, in fact, a double murder. Before stating that he had been the perpetrator of these crimes, when the police located the payphone, they found the phone off the hook. Leave me the fuck alone, phone. Brian and Cecilia were Brian and Cecilia were found by a man and his son fishing. This one is the Paradiso Heights cab driver killing. 2 weeks later, on October 11th, a white male entered a cab driven by Paul Stein, requesting to be taken to Washington and Maple Street. For unknown reasons, Stein drove 1 block past where he was supposed to stop. The passenger shot Stein once in the head and took Stein's wallet, car keys, and a tore-away section of his blood-stained shirt. The passenger was seen by 3 teenagers across the street. That's fucked up. Imagine being a teenager at home with your siblings when your mom and dad are not there, and just like witnessing somebody being shot in a cab, getting mugged, and then the guy taken off. The police, the kids had called the police while the crime was going on. They saw him wipe the cab down before leaving the scene. This is the part that pisses me off. 2 blocks away from the crime scene, patrol officers Don and Eric responded to the call. Observed a white man walking along the sidewalk, stepping onto the stairway to a front yard. But did they get him? Y'all know why. The officers said he was to be 35 to 45 years old, similar to the description of the kids gave him. But the officers were told it was a black suspect. On November 9th, he sent a letter stating the 2 patrol officers stopped him and actually spoke with him for 3 minutes after he shot Stein. That's the type of shit that pisses me off. I understand you got a description, but still, be cautious. You never know, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? October 14th, 1969, the Chronicle received a letter from the Zodiac, this time containing the bloody piece of Stein's shirt. He also put in a threat about killing a school bus of children. These are his actual words. Just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kiddies as they came bouncing out. End quote. My mom was reading this book while she was pregnant with my brother. Me and my sister, I think I was entering middle school. She was in middle school in 7th grade, or maybe in 8th grade. I don't know. I'm not sure. And my mom read that part and she stopped reading because she's like, I have kids, fuck that. Don't be threatening children. The other murders he claimed that were his were 18-year-old Robert and 17-year-old Linda, both killed on June 4th, 1963 on a beach near Gaviota. 18-year-old Chen Zhou Bates stabbed to death and nearly decapitated on October 30th, 1966. 25-year-old Donna Lass had no ties to the Zodiac, no evidence at all to him, but he still claimed her. And this one, excuse me, this one is my favorite because she actually got to look at him, she got to talk to him, she got to be around him for like a minute, 5 minutes the most. 22-year-old Catherine Johns, abducted on March 22nd, 1970. Johns escaped from the car of a man who drove her and her infant daughter. Yep. I wonder if that baby knows your mom survived an attack, baby girl. The only person that they really made connections to being the Zodiac was a man named Arthur Lee Allen. Arthur was interviewed on October 6th, 1969 by Vallejo Police Department. He reportedly was scuba diving at Salt Point the day of 2 of the murders that had taken place. A friend then was interviewed by the police and told the police that in 1971 in Manhattan Beach, California, Allen spoke of his desire to kill people and to use the name Zodiac and secure a flashlight to a firearm. Come on now. Either you were just fucking around and you were telling your friend like, I want to be the Zodiac. But like you really had intentions, you know? You would have freaked me the fuck out if you were my friend. I'd have been like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from you for a little bit, you know, like crazy ass motherfucker. I love this. Allen got honorable discharge from the U.S. Navy in 1958 and had been fired from his job as an elementary school teacher in March of 1968 after allegations of sexual misconduct with students. He was described to be fixated on young children, nasty ass, and he was angry at women because he was never married or never had a girlfriend. If you wanted some cootie cat, you could have got some cootie cat from down the block. You could have paid somebody to give you some cootie cat. The fuck? In September 1972, Allen had a warrant from the police to search his residence. In 1974, Allen was arrested for sexually assaulting a 12-year-old boy. He pleaded guilty, but the fucker only served 2 years in jail. Pig. Evidence on Allen was... The only evidence on Allen that they had was a letter from Bates's killer with the same typewriter that Allen had. He also wore and owned a Zodiac wristwatch. He lived in Vallejo and worked close to where one of the Zodiac's victims had lived and where one of the crimes took place. Yeah. There's a movie, The Zodiac. It's with Jake Gyllenhaal and with Robert Downey Jr. It goes more into detail about the comparisons. They did handwritings and they interviewed a whole bunch of people who used to work with him, his sister-in-law, his brother, and, you know, it gives you more of a description that literally everybody was pointing fingers at this man, you know? After Allen's death in 1992, Vallejo police, they were served with a warrant. They weren't served, but they were granted a search warrant and seized property from Allen's residence. They had done DNA and writing comparisons But the DNA and writing comparisons didn't match the person. The personal written letters from the Zodiac. Um, yeah. But in the movie, they compare and they're like, oh, this is how he did it. He did it this way. He did it this way. Blah 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 blah. All this bullshit. And then you believe that Arthur Lee Allen was the Zodiac killer. For all I know, the Zodiac could be outside of my window looking at me. I'm just playing though. But the whole time in the movie, you believe it to be him. You know. I do recommend watching documentaries on the Zodiac. The Zodiac movies. I recommend it. I love those fucking movies. I love those documentaries. I love anything spooky ooky. 13 index cards. Read it 6 times. Girl, no, don't do that shit. Thick. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna give you guys a little story of. It's not something to be proud of, but I actually did witness somebody commit suicide. I was around maybe 14 or 15 years old. I used to wash not across the street, next to the building that we lived in. We lived next to a 7-Eleven and a laundromat, and in the parking lot of both of those places, a diesel truck was getting ready to back up, and this man, I don't know if he was on drugs or if he just wanted to end it, he threw himself behind the back tires of the diesel truck. The diesel truck backed up, and all you hear is the cracking of his bones. I turned, as soon as, I heard this guy scream, and I turned around, and then he dived under the truck, and I was like, what the hell? And then all I heard was clack, breaking. I'm like, oh my god, why? And then people were telling the diesel truck driver, stop, stop. The guy didn't know what the fuck was going on, so what he did was he put the car in drive, and he drove over him, breaking his bones again, crushing him. I was like, fuck. So the parking lot became a crime scene. I've witnessed shit, I've seen shit, crazy as fuck. If you guys want more story times, comment down below. Comment down which murder mystery you want me to do next. I kind of wanted to do the Charles Manson murders / Sharon Tate murders. I got fixated on that shit. I was obsessed, but not like white girl from the movie Obsessed. Yeah. I have a lot of fucked up murder mysteries that I've read about, seen, all the shit, so I'm gonna do those. Before I go, I'm gonna give a plug to my family members who are doing their own stores. My cousin, who's born after me, she does personalized stickers. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's an elephant. She does personalized stickers. She has her own thing. Her website, I think, if you follow her on Instagram, it's Artworks Creations. I think it's Artwork Creations by Mars. If I don't get it right, it's gonna be in the description. Everything. I have another. She's my sister's best friend, but she's my sister. Vanessa's store is called Vixen Masks. She does masks like this one. My Halloween mask. Happy Halloween. She has her own. She doesn't have a cosmetics line yet. Keyword yet. She has her lashes. I think she has lip gloss. She has I think it's eyebrow stuff for the eyebrows, mascara. She has jewelry. She has like a lot of stuff. That shit's badass. She made me this one because she knows I love the spooky season. And then she made my sister a Nightmare Before Christmas one too. And then I have a cousin named Jessie. Her name is Sassy Jessie on Instagram. All three of them, I'm gonna put theirs in the description below. She makes stone jewelry, and I've seen them. They're beautiful. I know she does personalized makeup bags too. She's done, it's her own paintings, her own drawings. She'll do drawings or paintings of anything. She did Morticia Adams. She did Tiffany from Chucky. I know she's done more, but also I'll leave her stuff in the link down below. And then my sister has a friend. Her thing is Sissilo Treats. Yes. She gets down on cakes. Let me tell you, she gets down on goodies. I'm also going to put her stuff in the link down below. Well, I'm going to put her stuff in the description so you guys can check her out. Her cakes, I don't know how she does it, but she does it. It's bomb as fuck. And they're hella cool how she does it. So, again, I'll leave all their stuff in the description down below. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat, whatever you want. Again, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.